There has been a bunch of drama in the DeFi app layer of Ethereum. There has been a brewing war, a brewing division between Aave and Maker, and it's especially with the introduction of both Morpho and Ethena. And so here's Mark Zeller, who's one of the leading call it operators of Aave, the Aave DAO, writing a proposal to remove the collateral status of DAI in Aave, citing risk concerns due to what MakerDAO is doing, integrating the new ETH USDe from Ethena, brand new synthetic dollar, using that as what Aave thinks is too much collateral to back a DAI, presenting a systemic risk in DAI, the stablecoin. And so as a result, Aave is reducing its exposure to DAI inside of Aave by just removing it as collateral. Stani from Aave, he comes into the Aave governance forum saying, personally, I am in full favor of offboarding DAI from all Aave markets completely. At this point, I see little value for the Aave DAO with this new risk direction MakerDAO is adopting. Would suggest a temp check for full offboarding. The offboarding process should start immediately in case of a favorable outcome. Maybe in the background of this is the incentive of Aave has the GHO, the Go stablecoin, and so Aave would like to enshrine its stablecoin above competitor stablecoins. But then also at the same time, there is this brand new introduction of ETH, USDe from Ethena into a collateral of MakerDAO with a pretty healthy credit line. I think $600 million with a proposal to increase it to $1 billion on this brand new synthetic dollar, which is still getting tested. Still, the risks are still being stress tested. So MakerDAO giving a very healthy credit line to this brand new stablecoin, to which Aave is saying that's risky, don't do that. So this is the drama of the week in the last week in the DeFi layer. Anthony, what's your take here?
I mean, I would say that I totally get Aave's point, or the Aave DAO's point here about the risks associated with this and kind of MakerDAO's new direction of taking on more risk. I think for a long time, people assumed that Maker was this kind of slow-moving beast. It was the least risky kind of protocol within DeFi. It would basically do, a proper analysis before integrating anything. But then recently, as you just explained, they had this proposal, or maybe not even a proposal, they just wanted to do this thing where they essentially put $600 million to $1 billion into Ethena, which is objectively a very new protocol and an untested protocol, and there's a lot of real risks associated with it. And then the Aave DAO is this is just crazy. That just increases the risk too much for DAI, which basically means that we shouldn't have it as a collateral asset on Aave because that could hurt the Aave ecosystem. So I totally get where they're coming from there. And I don't know kind of what side I sit on here. I don't think it's something that I've paid that much attention to enough to have a side. But I think that I get the logic surrounding it here. But you've got a Hazu tweet here about Athena's risks being over-exaggerated. Maybe you want to get into that one as well.
Yeah, this is Hazu saying, kind of like what we were saying, is the risks of Athena are over-exaggerated, at least to what people understand when they make comparisons to Terra Luna. That's what I'm saying. Hazu says, it's not a widowmaker trade like GBTC and BTC, let alone Terra Luna. And it's very common and relatively low-risk trade many firms employ, even more so if you can use a prime broker like Copper Fireblocks, pretending otherwise is either uninformed or disingenuous. Current rates will obviously come down as the funding rates shift, then USDe will become less attractive. It's already starting to happen. Finally, this Aave Maker war is destructive for both parties. The involved parties seem to go to prioritize ego over value creation. I actually am doing a podcast with Sam McPherson from Sparks, which is the Aave fork for the MakerDAO ecosystem. So basically MakerDAO, and Mark Zeller from Aave. And so we're going to have both of them on a podcast tomorrow morning. That'll come out sometime next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that should be a good podcast, I think, to get the different perspectives there. But I agree with Hazu. There probably is a little bit of subjectivity in this and a little bit of ego in this. There always is when it comes to these sorts of things. But as I said, I understand Aave's position here. I understand Maker's position of wanting to increase their revenue, their net revenue of the Maker ecosystem, wanting to increase the supply of DAI as well, generally. And I'm looking forward to listening to that podcast that you do there. It should be an interesting one.
To continue leveling up your crypto game, then you need to get on the Bankless newsletter. It's the world's most popular crypto email and is completely free. Just click below to sign up.